Hi everyone. So am I audible to you guys? All right. So I'm audible to everyone. Right. Let's get started. So before we get started, have to update you a few things. All right. So before we go to the lesson, first of all, we have to quickly talk about few things. Right. Okay. So the thing is, now I can see very less people are joining to the session. There are many people in the group, only very few people are joining. So from today onwards, we will be taking the students' attendance. So those who are attending the classes and all, like until the end, those people will be receiving our past paper, unit-wise past paper Islam book for them. Right? Okay, so I'll be checking the students. So until this month, I'll be checking how many students are being active. Those students will be extracted and put into a different group where I'll be giving them personal practice. Okay. So those who are not attending the session and all, those people will not receive anything. They will be removed from the group permanently. Right. So they will be removed. Right. So that is the first thing that I have to tell you all. The next thing is about the Children's Day. So, like most of them are out of Colombo, and yeah, so none of them come and do the physical sessions with us. So we are going to have a Grand Children's Day, which means we will have some competitions. We will be having some games and all of them, even cash raffle draws also we will be having. Cash raffle draws, like we will have different kinds of rewards where you can swipe and you all can get them. So like new things are going to be updated in our online session. So we are going to have them. No, I will have the physical and online. Physical, now most of them cannot come to the Colombo, right? So some people are living far away from my places, so because of them they cannot attend. So because of that, I just planned for an online session. I planned for an online session. So in the online session, we will be having the raffle draw where you all can get into the link and you all can click and you all can take a screenshot of the reward that you all have received. Like you may have done the raffle draw, right? So there are different kinds of, we will have spin wheel, raffle draws and all of them. We will have competitions. So according to that, we will be having some kind of events like students' talents and all, we will be doing it. So I won't be keeping it on the 1st of October because 1st of October, you all have to explore. You all will be going out. You all will be going with your friends and somewhere else. You all will be moving here and there. So because of that, I'm not going to keep it on 1st of October. I'm going to take a weekend. I'm going to take a weekend and I'm going to plan them, right? So I need some few people to help and support to the our session. So like coordinator, like announcers, we need some people who can do that event plannings and all. Because I myself cannot be done, right? So I need few people, those who are voluntarily, they are feeling okay, I can help you, then definitely you all can give your names. So if you all can do that, then let me know. So I will add you to the separate coordinating group. In that, I will be updating you all what is my plan. According to that, you all are going to work. So the coordinators will get a different set of gifts. That means they won't be participating, but they will be in the backstage of the session. So because of that, they won't be able to participate. So, but I will be granting them a different set of rewards for the coordinators, right? So that is what my plan is about. So I don't know whether you are excited or not because I am trying something best in online because we are none of the lectures would do. So I'm trying to give my best and I'm always wanted to be unique out of everything, right? Yes, so those who are willing to do and want to be a part of the coordinating, please send me a message as giving hashtag Children's Day Coordinator. Okay, I will add you to the group. I don't want like this only. I want you to be until the end. Okay, I want you to be until the end, and I'll be adding you to the group. So if you are really interested, if you can do it with me, yeah, you can. Okay, you can do it, right? I'll update you. Please send me in WhatsApp. Okay, so you can just, I'll update my WhatsApp number here for those who don't have. So, right. Okay, so coordinators will be in the backstage, and I'll tell you for the rest of them, I'll tell you the event planning, how this is going to happen, and you all have to showcase your talents. Especially like singing, like on time game, cross wall game. So there are different set of games. I'll be updating it. Okay, I will be updating the different set of games. So we have that games. According to the games, we may select for 3 people, and we will be rewarding. Right. So I 100% make sure that different types of people, different grades of people will be rewarded. Okay. So I want everyone to be rewarded, not the same person again and again. So that is the my motive. And in addition to that, those who are supporting and sharing the link for them, I'll be sending them my student planner with the resin art pen, right? I'll be sending them, I'll be couriering it. So I'm already working with so many things with the so many efforts for the students. Almost when I count, I may have for this last 2 months, when I count last 2 months, I have rewarded around 30 students, 30 different students I have rewarded. It can be a big people, it can be a small people. I have rewarded, I have spent a lot for my students. It's not, I'm not getting the money for like from the trees, right? I give my 100% to my students. I reward them because I always think whatever I reward it as a sadaqah. Okay, I don't expect anything from you. I don't want anything from you. I just need your support. Support is enough than anything for me, right? So I'm that kind of person. So I want to tell you 100% I'm giving my best out of me. Even though I was in a situation where I could not walk, where I could not hear anything, but I turned back and bounced back, and I'm really okay right now. Okay in the sense, not 100%, but like 40% only I'm okay. But still, I wanted to give my best, and I wanted to forget what has happened to me. So because of that only, I'm really interacting with you right now itself. So yeah, those who wanted to become a coordinator and all, please send me a text here. I will add you to a separate group. I know there are so many groups for me now. So I will add you to the separate group, and I'll be talking to you all, and I'll be telling what is my plan and idea. So you all can get into I will be adding girls separately, boys separately in different groups because I don't want any problems to take place again. Right? Coordinators means someone who is helping me in the backstage. That means the event like announcement. Some people will be helping me to do some events and all. So we will be having kind of a session like that online, and it's going to be enjoying one. It's going to be live as well as we'll be telecasting in the YouTube as well. So this is what we are going to do it. Right. So I hope my target is to at least reward for 30 students. We'll see, because I don't want the student who doesn't even come to the online session, doesn't study, but only coming for that kind of a event won't be good. So I want you to continue. So today I'll be taking the attendance. If possible, can someone take attendance of today's students and update me? And always remember, if you are continuing with me, you would go to a better place. If you are not continuing, it's not my problem. So keep working, right? So that is my 100% to you. So this is what I want to tell you all this time, okay? Okay, Aisha, you can. Right. So that is what. And already I told 3 students won. I could not remember actually who are those 3 students who won that watches and all. So those watches are with me right now. Yesterday only I got the parcel and all. So let's see what is that and all. I could not remember actually who are those 3 girls I wanted to reward with that watches. But I'm not still remember. Like I have to go through that. Okay, see, Lamha Science. Okay, right. So, right, I'll be seeing the students at last who are there until end. So, those students, I will give you all the bestest of mine, okay? Right, let's continue with the story today. So, today we have to study about Talaq and Iddah. We have to study about Talaq and Iddah. Right, okay, guys, I received. Okay, so today we have to study about Talaq and Iddah. So let's get into the lesson. Let's get into the lesson. Okay, sure, y'all can update me. We don't have quiz today because when I'm coming back home itself, I was actually late. So I could not plan anything. Yes, let's move on. Right. Okay, so listen. So we have to study about talaq and iddah. So what is talaq and what is iddah? Listen to me. Now, in our last class, we studied about marriage. Can someone tell me what is a marriage in a word, or marriage is what kind of a relationship in the world? What does Allah gives the depression on the marriage? Okay, so we say marriage is called nikah. So why do we get married? What is the reason we get married? Yeah. What kind of a bond we could tell the marriage is? We can say marriage is a sacred bond. So marriage is a sacred bond means it's a pious which is accepted by Allah, where Allah loves this kind of a bond instead of having a haram relationship. So marriage is something that is accepted by Allah. So that is a sacred bond. Right. So when you talk about a marriage can give us a family. A marriage can form a family where there will be children, grandchildren, so-laws, and everyone. There will be like a beautiful bunch of flowers. We call it as a marriage. Now, when you come to the marriage, there are certain things. Now, who is the main person in the marriage? One thing we can say the husband, and other one is the wife. The main pillars of the marriage is what? Husband and wife, or we can say mother and the father. Right. Now, let's talk into the third point of view, like husband and wife. So when you take the husband and wife as a father and mother, they have different rules, regulation, duties and rights, how to serve the children, how to look after their parents, how to build up a positive impact to the family. Like they have so many responsibilities when it comes to a family, right? And also now what is a talaq? In another term, we call the talaq as what? We call these as divorce. We call these as what? Divorce. So when we say talaq, or we call it as a divorce, now what do you mean by talaq? So now listen to me. Talaq means we call it as a separation. We call it as what? Separation. We call it as talaq. Right. Now, what can be the reason for the divorce? What can be the reason for the separation between a husband and wife, or a mother and a father? Now, first of all, now when this bond, now the husband and wife relationship, if they have so many misunderstandings, if they have so many problems between them, or past problem or past relationship, if they are not obeying the husband or wife, if they have so many commitments between them, this can lead up to a divorce, or we can call it as what? Talaq. Right? Right. When you talk about this talaq or marriage, now this is something that people or Allah doesn't like, which is hated by Allah. The only thing that is hated by Allah, now when you talk about talaq, which is the hatred action that is done by the human, which is hatred by Allah, that you call it as talaq. Right. Now, usually when a problem, now each and every one of us we may have faced so many problems in our life, family problems and all of them, but like we all of them have experience. Now, what is happening to the surrounding people, the children or their parents? What is the depression they may undergo? Like, when the parents quarrel each other, what will happen? The children may get affected mentally, physically. This can happen. But especially when you talk about the relationship between the husband and wife, where the family is getting separated, right? Okay. Okay. Now listen to me. Now when you talk about this talaq, now this talaq can occur due to the dislike. Now if they have any marriages between them when they don't like each other, or there can be misunderstanding, or there can be irresponsibilities, or there are so many reasons that can lead up to talaq, right?
Okay, and always remember, Islam advises people not to get into the fights and misunderstanding.
We have to always be patient. We have to always seek the solution from Allah. So we have to get an idea how far we can solve a problem instead getting talaq. So instead of being separated, we have to see, we have to give them time to recover and be patient. And then if that doesn't work, the only option is what? The only option that we can move forward is what?
The talaq. So now always remember, whenever there is a fight in the family,
Always this shaitan is very happy about it. Like, whenever we fight, whenever there is a problem in the family, the shaitan always dances in front of the house or in middle of the house and then say, Allah, okay, today I separated a family. I'm really happy. So think about it. Now, whenever we get into a fight, whenever we are having a problem in the family, always remember that Iblis is watching and he wanted us to separate, because Iblis likes the families being separated
when the families are not talking to each other. So always remember, think in your brain, like always think, okay, this, what do you say, this Iblis doesn't want a family to be happy. If there is a family who is happy, sometimes there will be evil eyes, there will be someone who is doing a black magic. Because of that, the family can be separated. So always we have to think before we get separated, who will be affected, what has gone wrong, find a solution, and we have to come up with a solution with the help of Allah. So this is something that is not a good option, but if that doesn't work, we have to move for a talaq. Right? Right. Got an idea? So now when you talk about talaq, in case if the talaq is done for jokes, say I'm gonna divorce you, that will be a real thing. Like, we cannot use that word again and again. If we say that for a joke also, it will become true. So this is something that we cannot take it as a joke. So talaq is not a joke. This will be granted, this will become Amin. If we keep on telling talaq for a joke also, this can happen for true. So this is something that is advised by Prophet, not to take the talaq as a joke. Even you cannot tell it as a joke. If you say more than 3 times, that's talaq. Did you understand? Did you understand? Okay. Now, when you talk about how we how we can get rid of this talaq, how we can get rid, without going to the option of talaq, how we can solve a problem, we can think in that way. So one thing, the husband and wife has to talk and solve the problem. If that doesn't take place, we have to call someone called mediator. We can call a mediator, like it can be the wife father or wife mother, husband father or husband's father, who can give them a common advice for both. If that also doesn't work, if these two also fail to solve the problem, then husband or the wife has to give the divorce. Did you understand? Did you understand? Got the idea? Got the idea? So when you talk about talaq, there are some rules and regulations. Like, there are some rules. Considering that rules, we can go for talaq. Let's move to that kind of a talaq. Right, listen to me. Now, when you talk about talaq, we need to understand detailedly what are the rules of talaq. Especially the first type of talaq. That means the first rule of talaq is a wajib talaq. It's a wajib talaq. Wajib talaq means, remember, now say this is the husband. Let's say this is the husband, and let's say this is the wife, right? So if the husband and wife is having a problem, now both of them are having misunderstand, they cannot solve. So the wife or husband, someone will come who will be common to both of them. We call this person as the mediator. So the mediator also will come and convince both of them. If both of them are not going to be not agreeing with the things that the mediator says, if the mediator suggests it's the best option for talaq, then we call this as what? Waj. We call this talaq as what? Waj. That means they think they cannot live together as husband and wife, then it is wajib for them to go for a divorce. So if a mediator involves and if they understand, so that is going to be the wajib. Right. The second one. The second one is the sunnat talaq. Second one is the sunnat talaq. So what is sunnat talaq means? Say for example, now husband is a Muslim. If the wife is some other religion, like a non-Muslim, say we say the wife is a non-Muslim, right? So in case if the wife is not being a Muslim or being disobedient to her husband, or if she is not religious, if she have some bad qualities, talking to some other guys, unknown guys, some issues like that, then he can go for the talaq. That talaq you call it as the sunnat talaq. So what is the first rule of talaq? The first rule of talaq is we say whether the talaq is a wajib. Then we say whether is it a sunnat. So there are different types. Is that marriage accepted? There are people who get married. No, most of the Muslim men, they get married to the non-Muslim girls. I don't know what they got it from the non-Muslim girls. They go and marry for the non-Muslim women, and they say I'm going to take this girl for Muslim. Now she will also like okay say I'm coming for Muslim, but later once she got married to this guy, she will not be acting as a Muslim. Now she will be bringing all the idols inside the house, and she will be try to do that. So it's like kind of a betrayal. If the betrayal takes place, then the boy has the rights to do the talaq. So that talaq we call it as the sunnat. So always remember, it can be applied for both. If the female is taking a non-Muslim man, if he cannot be religious, or if he is having some other bad things, like kind of a disobedient, not talking properly. Now, always remember, we cannot shout. We cannot shout each other. We cannot, they should not, like, what do you say? There are some relations like this, no relationships like this, no husband will be acting for like in front of the wife like a good person, and later talk to some other people and all of them and getting contact with other girls. So if that happens and if she get to know, she can go for a divorce, which is sunnah, because she cannot keep on telling him not to do, not to do, not to do all of the time. No. So that is one thing. Should the girl say talaq too? I'll come to that as well. Right. Third one is the muba. We call it as the talaq muba. Talaq muba means, say for example, if the husband is not providing the necessary, let's say for example, necessary essentials for the wife, or not comforting, not providing food, or not giving what she needed, for example, like needs, like not giving, like say for example, if he's not taking care of her, if he is not doing anything for her, whatever the things she needed. So this you call it as talaq muba. We call this as what? Talaq muba. So if the husband does not providing anything for his wife or is not comforting her, so that you call it as what? Talaq muba. The next talaq is the talaq that is haram. The talaq that is haram, which cannot be accepted. Which means the husband is saying, like say for example, this man is getting married to what? He's getting married to the 3 girls. Say for example, he's getting married to 3 girls. Okay. Talaq wajib means if the husband and wife is having misunderstanding between them, if they cannot solve a problem, if a mediator comes and asks the problem, what's the problem from the husband and what's the problem from the wife, and if they are not agreeing and if they are not okay to live together, then the mediator will say, okay, we understood that these 2 people cannot live together as husband and wife, so let's go to the talaq. So that is, you call it as the talaq wajib. So talaq haram means, so what is talaq haram means? The husband is thinking he doesn't want to give, like say for example, here wife 1, wife 2, wife 3. He is he is only taking care of the wife 1, 2 and 3 is not taking care. And he is like, no, I can't look after you. Let's give talaq. So if he's doing in that way, the talaq, that is haram. Now he got married for some other reason, and he's telling that he cannot look after the rest of them because it's not possible for him to provide. and that is going to be the talaq haram. Or if he neglects or rejects their opinion, or if he rejects what are the rights that they have to give for them, sharing the properties, so that he call it as what? Talaq haram. A man cannot marry to 3 women at once. I told you, say he has 3 wives like that. So this year this wife, next year next wife, like that he's marrying, no? So for a kind of a use, he had married for 3 women, and then he's saying, I can only afford for 1 woman, I cannot afford for rest of them. Let's go for a talaq, and he's removing them. So that cannot be happen. That is, you call it as haram. Understood? Got the idea? So these are the rules that we have to follow. These are the rules. That means what kind of a talaq is that? Is it a wajib talaq? It's a haram talaq? It's a sunnat talaq or mubah talaq? So always we need to understand what kind of a category are they going to fall. Clear with that? Understood that? Got the idea? There are 4 rules. Talaq wajib, talaq sunnat, talaq mubah, talaq haram. There are 4 rules. If that rules are matching only, they can go for talaq. If for a small reason also, she didn't cook today and I'm going for a talaq, then that's invalid. That reason is invalid. If this kind of a reason is there only, he or she can go for a talaq. Did you understand? Okay. So now when you talk about divorce, now we say divorce, right? When we talk about divorce, don't pronounce it as diverse. It's not diverse, it's divorce. So when you talk about divorce, divorce can be divided into 3. It can be divided into 3 main groups. One, you call it as talaq. Now we are saying this talaq as a divorce. No, it's different. If the husband is freeing a woman, if the husband is freeing his wife, that means if the husband is giving divorce to the wife, wait, what did you all say? Cooking thing doesn't fall under haram divorce? No, Mariam, that's a simple thing. No, tomorrow cook, we'll cook tomorrow. So it's not a big deal. Some people, for small reason also, they are putting divorce, no? For small reason also, like today she didn't give me this food, not doing this thing, like that happens. Every day won't be a fine day, right? So there will be a day where you have to face a problem. So for small things and all, if they put talaq, and that's going to be haram, right? Okay. So now when you talk about divorce, divorce can be divided into 3. One, you call it as talaq, kullu, and the other one you call it as fasq, right? So talaq means, now we say divorce, the common name as talaq. No, this is what we say, no, but it's not the right thing we always use. Now divorce can have three ways, 3 categories. One category is a talaq, means when a man is freeing his wife from the bond of the marriage, we call it as talaq. That means this person is removing his wife. Now, what do you mean by kullu? When we talk about kullu, if a woman is giving talaq to her husband, did you understand? That means she is taking. Now, if the wife is giving divorce to the husband, we call this as kullu. If the husband is giving talaq to the wife, we call divorce to the wife, we call it as talaq. Did you understand? So now why is the talaq? Now this person, the husband, has right to say, pronounce talaq, the word talaq 3 times. So then what is happening? So he can say 1 time, and we call this as protective talaq, right? Yes. Opposite of talaq, we call it as kullu. Opposite of talaq, we call it as what? Kullu, right? So he can tell the word talaq to the wife by writing, or he can tell it by pronouncing as I'll do talaq for you. I'm doing talaq for you. So if they say in that, like that, in that way, so that's going to be a valid talaq, right? Okay. First, the middle divorce, we call it as fasq, or we can call it as fasq. Can a Muslim person I'll read out the question. Can a Muslim person marry more than one person? That means it depends on the situation. Okay. It means he cannot get married to the woman whoever he says. So, example, if his first wife is not well, or she's having a disease or something where she cannot look after the baby or something, then he can get a woman by the permission of his first wife. Or else he can get married to a woman if his first wife couldn't, if she's infertile, where she cannot bear a baby. In with her permission, always he has to ask the permission to get. The husband has to ask the permission from the first wife to get a second wife. Without her permission, he cannot. And also he has to treat both of them equally. So that's how he has to do. Okay, right. Let's talk about fast. So fast means, for example, there are two people are getting married. Let's say this is a boy and a girl. If the boy and the girl is from the same family, we say they both of them are mahram, and this becomes an invalid marriage. So this invalid marriage we call it as fast. So that means the marriage is breaking. That means the marriage will be broken. So that is you call it as fast. Did you understand? So if the children are from the same family, say we get married to the same set of family, then that becomes fast, where you have to get married to the non-mahram, no? So if you are getting married to the mahram, this is a sister and this is going to be the brother. So brother and sister cannot get married. So this becomes a fast. So this marriage will become invalid. So this cancellation of the marriage, we call it as fast. Did you understand? Okay, kullu. Let's talk about kullu. So kullu means when a wife wants to leave her husband, free from husband, getting a divorce from the husband, we call it as kullu. That means now the girl is the one who is giving the divorce, no? So that means the wife has to return the mahar that is given by the boy. That means the wife has to give the mahar, return the mahar that is given by the husband. So she has to give the mahar back to the husband before she get the divorce. Did you understand? Did you understand? So talaq means a man is getting separated from a woman. Kullu means a girl is getting separated from a man. Like that. So that is you call it as kullu. So divorce can be divided into three. Can you write that out? Yeah. Okay, it's Azan. Once the Azan is over, let me know.
Is the azan is over? Okay, right. So some people are asking me in talaq, first type divorce, shouldn't the wife give in mahar? That means in talaq, the wife should not give. Now, when you talk about the talaq, when the husband is asking for the divorce, husband has to give the maintenance money and everything for her that she could overcome, right? So in this situation, wife doesn't want to give her mahar back. Now, when the wife is giving the divorce to the husband, she has to give the mahar back. Okay. Who is non-mahram in a family? So non-mahram means that is like not, that should be not your close relatives, like the far relative people are your non-mahrams, right? So last class also in the marriages I taught you who are non-mahram. No, if the husband take the mahar for some other use, should he return it to the girl after the talaq? You mean this one, Zainab? Was it this one you asking? Yeah, he has to. Yes, Reema. Yes, Ajnabi. Non-Mahram people means Ajnabi. Right. Okay. So let's go to the talaq that can happen in two ways. So some people, they do the talaq in a correct manner. They do it in correct manner also. So let's talk about the talaq that is happening in correct manner and incorrect manner. If the talaq that takes place in a correct manner, we call it as Talaq Sunni. We call it as what? Talaq Sunni. Now, how to do it in a correct manner means when he pronounced the talaq to the wife, when he pronounced the talaq to the wife, now the wife should be out of like what should be, she has to be clean, that she has to be free from najis. That means she should have done with her menstruation. So that time only he can pronounce the first talaq. The second one is he should not have any physical connection like sexual intercourse. So he should not have anything. Then he can say when she is after she is free from najis, he can pronounce the second word, second talaq. He can pronounce the second talaq. Then again the third talaq can be pronounced when she is free from najis. When she is free from najis. So this is how the correct manner of the talaq can take place. Incorrect manner means everything opposite to this, like how he is having physical connection with her. He is like when she is not clean. So he is saying all the talaq in incorrect way. That means when she is in the state of impurity, when having the physical connection with her. So at that time he is saying talaq. That is the incorrect talaq. We call it as talaqul fida. We call it as what? Talaqul fida, or we can call it as bina also. We can call it as talaqul fida. Right? Clear with that? Okay, take care, Zuha. Okay, so that you call it as talaqul fida. Right. Can you write them up? In meanwhile, I could not remember, maybe in the science or the Islam, I could not remember. There are like three people, no? I'll explain back again. Three people want the watch I give. So here's with me, I'll show you the watches. I got three parcels with me. I'll open one and I'll show you, okay? While you'll write, okay? Talakul Sunni means the talak that happens in a correct way. So first thing is he has to say talak when the wife is in the state of purity. That means she has to finish with her menstruation. Once the menstruation is over, then he has to say, pronounce the talaq to her. Then the next step is he should not have any physical connection, especially no sexual intercourse has to happen, and she has to be free from najis. Then he has to say the second talaq. The third one is he should completely not have any connections with her, and she has to be free from najis and say the third talaq. Right? So that is the correct word that you call it as talaqul sunni. I guess this one. And there will be another thing also there. Because 3 girls only won, I could not remember. So that is along with that, you are getting a bracelet also. There is a bracelet, and this is going to be the watch. So I don't have the details. I'll go back. I guess it's for the 3 girls. I could remember that science only. Hamda, Takshayani, and someone. The starting with A. Yeah. For the Islam also we'll be having. I'll be having another quiz session. So I have to decide whether it's a girl or boy. It took me 15 days to come this. So I'll be sending them. I have to personally contact. I could not remember who was that. I forget. Because rest of them who are interacting in the class, I told I'll be sending them brownie cookies for them. So yeah. Today I won't be keeping it. Because today I came late to home. You want me to write in my hand? It's like this. Here election is very, what do you say? It was very dull. When I go, it was very dull. And all of them. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll be having, because in the Children's Day, I have a different set of plan. So I guess girls and boys, y'all will be joining. Those who are interested, I asked in the group itself. So I'll be adding you on to the group. We will have a grand one. I hope that no one copies the same idea. Because I am spending, I spend for my students like 50,000. I do that. I don't hesitate to do that for my students. I just do what I could do. Few people's rewards are pending. I have to send it. Yeah, seriously, I don't want to lie. I do it. So few people's rewards are pending. I have to do step by step only, because I am busy with my medical college also. No, I'm busy with my medical college. So when I get projects and all, I forget things. Yeah, everyone are copying only. Voting. Don't ask me for whom did I vote. Because I don't want to tell. Because if I tell, it's going to be a problem. I don't want that to happen. Oh no. I won't vote. I will. Right. Now it's okay. Let's talk about categories of talaq. Let's talk about the categories of talaq. Now you will understand something very important here. Okay. I'll tell you something important here. When you talk about talaq can be divided into two. Talaq can be divided into two according to the, according to the certain condition. Listen to me. One talaq, you call it as rajai. You call it as rajai. Other one, you call it as ba'in. I'll tell you what is rajai. Rajai means this can be revoked. Revoked in the sense, in case if the husband and wife gave talaq, later they can come together. Now they got temporary separation. We call this as rajai. When I talk about ba'in, again we can divide the ba'in into two, and minor talaq and major talaq. So minor talaq we call it as sukra, and the major we call it as the kubra. That means minor means they can they can come together, again they can live together. Major means it's like there is a big procedure to stay with the first husband. Right. I'll tell about rajai. Listen to me, what is rajai? So rajai, we call it as the temporary separation. For a small thing, they got fought, and no, I don't want you, you also don't want me. Both of them are having fight, and then from the place, now they are going for a court. No, they will go to the court and they say, I don't want her, you don't want him. Like that, they will have a talk. Then what they will do is,
they will have 3 steps of talaq. No, that means they will have some time periods in between them. They will have time periods in between them. So that means they will have the first talaq, second talaq, and the third talaq where they are deciding whether to leave or not. So when they say first talaq is pronounced and second talaq is pronounced, now this wife will be in iddah, right? She will be in iddah. So iddah means we call it as the counting days, or we call these days as the waiting days. That means a proper solution. We wait until Allah gives us a better solution. We call these as what? Iddah. We call these as iddah. Right. So now when you talk about iddah, when the wife is in the state of iddah, then then this person, now the husband, if husband and wife, if they wish to join again or live again, if the if they feel no, they cannot stay with him, they understand something about him or her or something, and they wanted to live together, so that time the third talaq will be cancelled, and again they will join together and they will again live. So this you call it as the talaq raja'i. So talaq raja'i means they are not completely getting separated, but for a certain period of time they are being separated, and later they understand, they value each other, they feel they wanted to live together with them. So that time we call it as talaq raja'i. Clear with that? Clear with that? Right. So that is you call it as talaq raja'i. So next one is talaq ba'in. So talaq ba'in can be getting to 3 different things. So I'll erase the talaq raja'i. After divorce, they can reunite. That means the divorce will be temporary for some time. That time only she will be in iddah. No? So iddah means the women will stay until they get a proper result. That means they will not have any physical connection, but still she will be waiting if they could change their mind and they can be together. So that is you call it as the talaq rajai. So talaq ba'in can be divided into 2. It can be divided into 2 as minor and major. Yes, they can, Aisha. So minor and major. So minor and major means, we call it as the small separation, and major means it's going to be a permanent separation. So small separation means, like say they are going to do the first talaq and second talaq. First and the second talaq they will be doing it. Again, if they wish, they can join before the third talaq. They can join before the third talaq. We call it as minor. By in the talaq, we call it as sukra. We call it as what? Sukra. Yes. The next one we are going to study about the major. Major one only. Once the third talaq is pronounced. Now first talaq is pronounced. Second talaq also pronounced. When the third talaq is pronounced. When the third talaq is pronounced, what is happening? This is very clear, and they have to separate completely, final separation, if they don't want to get together. Now what will happen? So they are completely separated. Once they completely separated, and if the wife and the husband wants to live together, if they again wants to live together, what they have to do, the wife has to get married to another person. She has to now say, this is husband 1, this is wife 1. Now this wife 1 has to get married to another person, husband 2, divorce him and again marry to the first husband. This is how this happens if she wanted to live with the first husband again. Did you understand? Did you understand? Wife can marry only once. If she wants, she can get married to someone else. Did you understand? If she wants, she can get married to someone else once the complete talaq is over. But if she feels like she wants to get married to a no idea. Okay, so if the first wife has to get married to the first husband again, no, I want him, I can't live without him. So now they will say, no, if you want to get married to your first husband, you are supposed to get married to someone that you have to have a deal. I'll get married to you and I'll talaq you and go and marry to my first husband. So like that. She won't live with him. She will definitely get married. After some time, she will give talaq and she will get married. No, after the iddah only she can get married.
Understood? Understood? So a bit complicated task in Islam. So if they completely get separated, they have to get married to someone else, give talaq for that person and get married to this husband. So it's like, it's not even looks practical and beautiful to see. So that is about the talaq ba'in. Can you write about the talaq ba'in? Yeah. Is there a specific time period to stay with second husband before getting back to the first husband? Like they have to, there are specific time period means just to get married and stay for a month. I mean, like they cannot have physical connection if she want to get married. If she's having a motive to get married to this husband, she has to get married. After some time, she has to give the talaq and come back to him. Now, having a connection with him and again, then that comes as a different word for her. Minor means same like Rajai. Talaq Rajai. Minor is working same like Rajai. First, second talaq will happen when the third is going to happen. Before that, if they are getting together, they can. Minor separation. Like a small separation, they will again come back to the exact position. Does the husband give to marry another to get married to his wife? The same procedure will happen. If the wife wants like that, if the husband wants like that, the same procedure will happen. But I don't think so many people does that. The divorce with the husband number 2 should be valid divorce, right? But just for the sake of to getting the form, husband can divorce, right? Probably they not have given a proper idea because, as you see, whatever I learned only, I'm giving you the idea because I'm not experienced in getting married as well. So that is how you have to know that if that they have a specific time period. But the thing is now usually this doesn't happen. The major talaq doesn't happen. Most probably if they get separated means separated only. They don't even think back to get married to the first husband again. So this is very, 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 very rarely. And yeah. All three talaq should be pronounced at different times, like after days. And yes, I'll talk about it. Yes. Does the woman need to say a word kullu 3 times? No. She doesn't want to tell. See that. No, Sarah. I'm not. No, I'm not. Right. Okay. So let's go to the talaq in different words. We can call Sukra and Rajai are, of course, they are like same only. Now let's talk about the talaq in different words. We can call the talaq in different names, okay? Talaq can be called as lihar. We can call it as what? Lihar. So lihar means if this person is comparing his wife to his mother, then this is we call it as lihar. That means, say for example, I cannot say, can you see? There are some families like this. Now this is the wife. No, this is the husband. Okay, let's say this is the wife and husband. I'll tell you what is happening in nowadays generation. Now, when they get married, first time they say, honey, bunny, and all, they will tell, okay, honey, bunny, bhabhi, babi, they all tell all of them at the beginning itself, right? Then, now what is happening, then after they got like kids and all, now this husband looks like an uncle, no? So what she will pronounce it, say daddy. She will say dada for the husband. This is haram. This is haram. Like the same thing the husband is telling the wife as a mama. This is haram. That means they cannot intimate. They cannot tell, husband cannot compare his wife to the mother. That means it's like, if they say something like that, the wife is staying with the dada. No, can the daughter get married to the dada? That means he's comparing the relationship with the dada. It's not, it's haram. So that is called as lihar. That is called as what? Lihar. Did you understand? So this thing is a kind of a talaq only. This is also kind of a talaq, but that means they are not doing talaq. So that means a kind of a talaq. Did you understand? Got the idea?
So that is, you call it as lihar. Next one, we call it as li'an. We call it as what? Li'an. Li'an means for lies, saying my wife is a bad woman. That this is unknown talaq. That means they not professionally given as a talaq, but this becomes a talaq in the forms of Islam. In forms of Islam, if you tell like that, it's a talaq, it's haram, it's not a good relationship. Li'an means the husband is giving false accusation to the wife. You was with this guy, you are lying, you are like this. That means she has not done anything, but he's giving false accusation in order to leave his wife like that. So he cannot give false accusation for the wife like that. So that you call it as what? Li'an. Like they are cursing each other. You will go away like this. You are bad. You are not good person. You are not born to one mother or one father like that. When they do like that, so this becomes, what does it becomes? This becomes haram. Right. Again, it becomes, we call it as li'an. This is also talaq that could be identified by other names. Right. Next one is ilahu. We call it as what? Ilahu. Right. So ilahu means, yes, it's haram. No, we cannot curse anyone. So they didn't know that is a talaq li'an. No, no. Like without even they know, they are doing the mistake like that. And also, in case if he wants to give talaq and he's giving false accusation to his wife also, that is a talaq. That means he's giving talaq in the name of li'an. Like that. And also the husband is saying, Allah promised, I am not like that. And I didn't have anything with this woman. I was not with this woman. And he's promising in the name of Allah. And he's doing again and again, again and again. And then what happens? This becomes a big problem. So this is also kind of a talaq. We call it as ilah. Right? Got the idea? And also now when this kind of a talaq happens, they give 4 months times to 4 months times to take his decision. They give 4 months times to take his decision whether to live with this woman or not, or should I be with this man or not. They have to take the decision and they have to separate. Finally, that becomes a talaq, right? Ilah means, like, he's promising upon Allah, like saying, I did not have any physical contact with her. Like, for example, like, for example, this is husband, this is wife. Okay, now both of them are having physical connection, right? Then he's going and saying to the court, I don't need her, I never touched her, I never been with her. Like that, he's giving kind of a false accusation in a different way, that you call it as ilahu. Did you understand? And also he's having with some other connection with some other women. Also we call it as ilahu. Got it? Got it? So most of the time in your exams, they will ask you to explain these words only. Got it? Okay, let's move to the iddah. Let's move to the iddah. Right. Ilahu, in the sense, ilahu is he is promising the court, saying he has not have any connection with his wife, like physical connection. He is not have any physical connection with his wife, but he wants to have the talaq. But he's having that connection with his wife and he wants to have the talaq. There are people like that. They say, like, when they need the wife, they will be with the wife. If they don't need for some reason, like that. So it's kind of a complicated situation to understand. Right? Okay, so that is ilahu. Okay, right. Let's move on. All these kinds for the husband only. Talaq is done by the husband to the wife, no? Yes, Mishra. Can they divorce next day after marriage, or it's a certain period? Now, if they get married and if they now getting married today and divorce tomorrow is impossible. They should ask the reason. Is it maybe they got married to the same family? So that is first, right? That is first. So they will see what can be the reason, right? Okay. So the next thing we have to study about Iddah. We have to study about Iddah. Now, when you talk about Iddah, we say the Iddah as counting. We call these as what? Counting. So counting or taking count like that, we call it as what? Iddah. We count on the number of months. Like that, we call it as Iddah. Iddah means the act of counting. We call it as act of counting, like 4 months, 3 months, 10 days, like that. We used to do the countings. We call it as Iddah. So Iddah means when the women has got the talaq or when they are divorced, they wait for a certain period of time where they don't beautify themselves for everything. We call it as Iddah. I'll tell you clearly what is Iddah. Listen to me. Now, say for example, now this is a wife. Okay, there's a wife and there's a husband. Now, if the husband dies, she becomes a widow, right? She becomes a widow. Now, in case if she had any physical connection with her husband, now before she get married to someone else, she has to stay Iddah, whether to understand whether she had the physical connection with her husband or whether she's pregnant, or because of that, we used to stay what? Iddah. So Iddah is a command that is compulsorily they have to stay. So what are the benefits that you can face by Iddah is, one thing is she will be receiving the reward, right? And also we have to understand now, in case now she is getting married to another person once the husband is died and she's getting pregnant at that time itself. Now the current husband who has got married to her will have a problem. No, why? She will not have any idea whose child is that. So because of that, they will stay Iddah for 4 months, 10 days, 3 months to check whether they are pregnant. Did you understand? Got the idea? So again, another Iddah, that means the Iddah can be stayed for the Talaq Rajai. I told you there will be a certain time period. Boys will not stay, only the female will stay. Okay, so Talaq Rajai means, I told you that they will get a certain time period to get together. That means the temporary separation. So in that between time when she's having Iddah, then if the husband wish, he or she can both of them join together and live together back as normal. So when the Talaq Rajai take place, they used to stay for Iddah, right? Okay. So this Iddah time period can change the circumstance, like what are the circumstances, like they can change the situation, they can ask dua from Allah, they can ask the proper decision from Allah. So these things can happen within that time period. Did you understand? Right. So now there are types of Iddah that can be take place, right? Now if the husband dies, now the woman's husband dies, she has to stay for Iddah, right? So when she's staying Iddah, she's supposed to stay for about 4 months. 4 months, 10 days. How many days Iddah she should stay? She should stay for about 4 months, 10 days if her husband passed away or died. Right? Now, Iddah for pregnant woman, that means if the pregnant woman's husband, the pregnant woman's husband passed away, until she give birth to the child, she can have the Iddah. Did you understand? Did you understand the time period? So the Iddah for the woman who is not pregnant and her husband died, she has to stay for 4 months, 10 days. If a pregnant woman's husband passed away, until she give birth to the child, she can stay for Iddah. Did you understand? So during the time period of Iddah, the wife should not beautify herself. She cannot get married to someone else. She cannot talk about the marriage proposal. She cannot wear jewelries. So these are the things that she has to follow. Did you understand? Clear with that? Got the idea? Yes? So that is about Iddah. The next Iddah is, I told you, Talaq Rajai. Talaq Rajai, they will get a certain time period. Now say, first Talaq is 3 months. Second talaq is 3 months. Like that. Like that. If they have in the time period, if they can join with her husband, then they can live together. That is about the talaq raja'i. Clear with that? Understood? Thinking of any other marriages is not haram. If she do that act only, it will be haram. Other than that, nothing is haram. Like she can think, okay, once the iddah is over, we can start up a new life. Yeah, she can start up her new life. So, mourning for the death of the husband for the entire life and neglecting all the worldly things and accepted in Islam, it is prohibited, Mishra. Yes, it is prohibited. So, other than that, is the talaq and iddah lesson was clear? Is it? Is it like more than a year means 9 months, no dear? Yeah, it can be 9 months. If the pregnant woman is under iddah, she has to stay for 9 months. In case in the first month of pregnancy itself, your husband dies, she has to stay for 9 months. Once the child is born, she should not stay for the iddah. She can do whatever she wants to do. Right. I hope that is clear. Right. So we are done with the lesson. Next class, we will come up with a new session. And new thing is also going to get updated and upgraded. And I'll be updating you soon. I hope you all are active and all. I have got the attendance also. Few people send me the attendance of the students. I'll be looking at that. And I will be updating you soon. Okay. So then guys, have a good day. Take care. And see you all in the next class. And assalamu alaikum. And see you all with the quiz session in the next class. Okay. After the divorce, does the woman become widow or just a divorce? She becomes a divorced person. She can get married to the person whom she likes after the permanent bond. Right. So see you all guys. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. What if the wife doesn't agree for talaq? If she doesn't agree for the talaq, it will be pending. They will keep on moving with the court decision. If both of them are okay, no, they can leave. If one person is not okay and if the other person is okay, no use. They have to give talaq only. That's the case. Okay, guys. Good night. See you. 2 days having to deliver the baby, but the husband passed away. How many days? Once the baby is born, she can stay out of iddah. That's fine. Okay, we have to see the new president also. I hope the best will come. Allah is the greatest. Yes, Amma, that's fair. What will happen to the baby? He will look after the baby. No. Baby gets aborted like what? Aborted in the sense, y'all are thinking like criminal, no way. Yes, Mishra, mutual agreement is the one. If wife passed away, husband will marry to someone. Only for the women, so many rules. Yeah. But it cannot be happen in the sense, however, he will say, I don't want you. Then, however, she has to give, no use of fighting. They will also feel, okay, let's move on. So, everyone will move on. That's how happens, no? No one can abort the baby. It's like what is similar to doing a murder, right? Yes, Amina, they can. Okay, send me a text and keep. If you all want to be the coordinator, I will add you all to the group, coordinating group, okay? Right, let me know how many marks come from exam for this question. You get 10 marks. You always get it as a cluster. During Iddah, can she think about marriage? She can think, but she cannot do anything related to that. If she thinks that, okay, that's fine. I forgot to inform also, I will be starting free science grade 9 for students. So if you all have any siblings who is grade 9, you all can ask them to join this one. Join the group. I'll update that with that soon also. Inshallah. Then I see you all.
They can kill, yeah, Mr. It's completely fine. In Saudi Arabia also they do the same, no? In case if they are behaving badly, they will slaughter them. It depends on the situation. There are so many situations now. In your textbook, they have given you that happens commonly. I'll update you, Mariam, for sure. Yeah, there's a particular day for the free session, Ammar. On Saturdays from 6 to 8 o'clock, you all have the Islam session. For the science, Tuesday, 6 to 8. Okay, guys, thank you. See you all, and I'll update the recording also. This is not a grade 10, but it's needed for your O level.